Hi, good evening, everybody. We are here for part 5 of our plan program. I appreciate all you guys checking in. I'm gonna give everybody about, let me see what time we got. I'll give everybody about 30 seconds before we get started. Tonight, we are talking about stocks. So we're doing our intro to the stock market. We are going to have a brief introduction. Now, if you're on my email list, I sent a load of forms. Don't stress and think you got to read through all of them. There's going to come a time where you're going to need them between today. You won't need them that much today unless you want to educate yourself a little further. Next week, we're going to go deeper. For anybody who signed up, if you sent your email into me, I signed you guys up for the stock market game. Now, what that is a competition in Connecticut. They do it around the nation, though. So if you're not in Connecticut, like where our center is located, and you still want to take part with us, just reach out to me. I'll get you a spot. But it's a position, a thing pretty much where you can paper trade. The stock market game, you can paper trade against other kids your age around your state, and it's a competition where you can earn recognition. Now, I myself I learned to trade when I was like 30. Hopefully some of you guys watching this are in your teens or even younger, 12, 11. It's never too early to start thinking about the market. If you wait until you need the money, like when you're later and you just turn to the market because you need a financial pickup, that's the worst way to get involved. It's not going to work out well. If you choose to just take it slow and learn the market, especially if you start at a young age, it can really do wonders. And I'm just going to kind of talk about ways that I can really help your life. Now, first, a review of what we've done so far. We had our first 2 sessions. The resumes should be good. Now, depending on your age, the template that I sent out is very basic. Probably like 15 and under would be that basic template. Once you get about 16, you want to change it to a little more professional resume, especially once you're starting to get into the workforce. So I want to throw out there, if there's anybody who did the resume and they want to get a more complex one, just have your parent reach out to me. I'll sit down with you for free. Within 30 minutes, we can definitely get that done. Now, we also talked about your business plan. You guys should be thinking about your business plan now. Now, keep in mind, when we talk about the business plan, it doesn't mean that you have to go into business. It doesn't mean that the only thing that you have to do is be an entrepreneur. I know that's not for everybody, but what I don't want to see happen is you out there checking this out thinking, hey, I got time. I can think about my business next week. And hey, I got time. I can think about my business next month. And then weeks turn to months, months turn to years, and it kind of snowballs down. And then before you know it, you're like, oh my goodness, you're my age. And you're like, I never thought about a business at all. I never had time to really get it done. So think about it now. Try it out. It's best to I say, try a lot of these dreams when you got no bills. If y'all young and you're living under your parents' dime right now, try as many things as possible to help do things you want to do and to think big, dream big. Try to reach out to kind of get there though. So now, today, stock market introduction. If anybody is really into the stock market after today, make sure if you're not subscribed to our YouTube page, you do subscribe. Check out some of the videos. I've been doing stuff in the stock market for a while. I trade consistently. I'm always in the market every single day. It's one of my favorite things to do. Now, this right here is our planned youth program. So I'm not going to be going into strategies and things of that nature. I'm going to be more letting you guys know, introducing you to the market, and then letting you know why it's important for you to first get yourself involved. Now, first off, the stock market, it's a virtual place where you can publicly trade shares of publicly traded businesses out there. Now, all of these big businesses, they are worth a large amount. They have one total number that they are worth. So the stock market, first off, is a place where all these businesses go to let the public see them and see what they're doing. What a lot of these businesses want to do, whether they're good or bad, they want the public to see what they're doing. They want the public to give some of them their money. They want to use that money to make their business better. And then if their business gets better, some companies give a dividend, which we'll talk about a little later. But if any company does better with your money in, if it raises the price of the company, you make money with them. So that's kind of the overall of what the stock market is. They need now, there's 2 exchanges. There's more than 2, but there's only 2 exchanges we're going to focus on. An exchange is where these companies go to get their stocks traded. The NASDAQ is an all computer stock market, all tech. And the NYSE, the New York Stock Exchange, those are two places where if you got a business, you can go to the NASDAQ, you can go to the NYSE, you can put your business there. People in the public can trade, can look at it. Now, it's a hefty fee if you want to get your company over there. If to have a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ or NYSE, you're talking about like $250,000 a year. Yep, I'll say that again. $250K a year just to be listed on there. So it's a hefty price that they put in there. And also, now, once you're listed, so once you got a public company, once they're listed, every company is worth a total amount. We call that the market capitalization or the market cap. We have very, very big companies that are worth millions and millions and billions and trillions and just large amounts of money like Amazon. Amazon will be one of your larger companies. They're huge, really, really big. Trade about 3,000 something a share, really big company. And then they have very small companies, which would be considered micro capitalization, where I say the smallest companies that are on a listed exchange are worth like around $1 million. Now, think about this with market cap, because like the stock market really puts money in perspective. If you're a company that is worth less than $2 billion, you're considered a small cap company. So keep that in mind. Think about that right now. There's really that much money out there in this world that if your company is worth $2 billion, you're a small company. There's a lot of opportunity in that for anybody watching this. A lot of opportunity. There's mid-cap companies that are between $2 billion and $10 billion. And then there's large cap companies that are over $10 billion worth. Now, with the stock market, one thing I want you guys to really realize, if you have a savings account, you should at least be thinking and learning about a brokerage account in the stock market. The reason why I say that, say right now you're a student, you're watching this, say you made $100 working and you wanted to save that money for a year. A savings account will give you 2% on that hard-earned money that you made. What that equates to is after a year, if you're putting $100 in your savings account, you now have $102, 2%. Now, there are companies out there, for example, Zoom, which a lot of you guys may use Zoom or used it in some way, shape, or form in school. Before COVID happened, Zoom literally went about 3, 4, 500%. I don't know the exact, but 3, 4, 500%. Zoom went from COVID to about now, which is coming right up on a year, to where you also could have had that money in a savings account and you could have got $2, to where if you just would have put that same $100 on Zoom right before COVID hit, you would have a couple $1,000s right now. So now, before we get any deeper into the stock market, we're going to talk a little bit more. I'm also going to have some things that I want you guys to do to research, because about the stock market, the biggest thing you can do now is just jump into it at a young age. I don't say you're not throwing any money in when we do this. We're paper trading only. Don't put any money in this. If you want to put money in, please reach out to me, and I really will break down to you what you should be doing and how consistent you should be before you put money in. Don't be in any rush. We just paper trading here. Now, some questions that I have for you. If you have a notepad, pen, paper, get that out. I'm just going to have you jot down a few things. Now, first off, write down like the clothes that you wear, the sneakers that you wear, any video games that you may play, any hair products, anything that you may use on a daily basis, foods, things you consistently use. Make like just a little list of those things for yourself. Like an example, right now I have Nikes on my feet. Let's see, let me see. I'm using a Blue Yeti microphone. Let's see, around me I have a bag of Tostitos chips. I have a lemon that came from I'm not sure where, but I can think about this different things. I have lights that came from Amazon. I have tables that came from Walmart. I have whiteboards that came from IKEA. This thing's kind of around. Make a list of the products that you use. And what I want you guys to do is when you have that list, go to Google and type in, say, if it's Walmart, is Walmart publicly traded? And then go and ask about another thing. Is Nike publicly traded? See if those companies are on the stock market. What I want you guys to see is right now, like I know at least myself, I'm going to explain myself when I was a teenager real quick. It won't be over 2 minutes. Myself as a teenager. As soon as I hit 16, I started working jobs. I never even thought about working something for myself. I only thought that I had to go work a job. So I started working at KB Toys when I was young. I made some money in there. And the first thing that I did was right when you start to get a little bit older, 17, 18, they start to send you stuff for credit cards when you start to like get financial income in, even if you're not making enough for them. I was like, yo, I can just use this money, this credit card money that's fake, use the money I got on something else, buy all this stuff, and I can just be splurging set. I went and maxed the credit cards. I went and spent all my money. My credit was shot moving forward. I really thought when I was younger, I could work for somebody else, making I think it was $10 an hour, if that. I could just go spend all the money that I get, not put it away. And then I'm still just going to get to my dreams and be set when I get older. I was dumb back then. I was not that smart. That's why I try to talk with y'all now. Now, if you are working a job, rather than maybe saving up your money and buying them Nikes, buying that Gucci belt, buying that chain or that gold, whatever it happens to be, something that the minute that you purchase it is going to depreciate in value. You could maybe put some of your money in an investment in something. You first have to talk to your family. They would have to kind of agree to get you into that group, into a stock and brokerage account, which is possible. You would have to pretty much prove to your family first that you got the education to want to do this. And you can't take your family's money if you take that route. You got to find a way to work, get some money, and then make that money work for you. But instead of maybe buying them Nikes, buying that belt, buy a couple shares of that company. And then wait some time. And then you wait a year or so, you will, and as long as you do the research on the company, which I'll teach you about as time goes on. And if anybody's interested, a little plug, around May, we're going to open up the center. So if you want to learn, I'm going to have trading. I'm building the schedule now. We'll have 1 day a week dedicated to strictly business programs. That's helping you with that. We'll have 1 day a week dedicated to stocks. And we got more things. But if you do want to get more advanced on this, I will go deeper into classes now. But put that money on a Nike stock. Put that money in a share somewhere. Put it away, invest it somewhere. And then in a year, you could have the possibility of having 5 of those same pair of Nike sneakers, or at least the price to buy 5. But the crazy thing about the stock market is what I love is once you learn about the potential that is there to actually make yourself money, you tend to not want to spend that money on frivolous things. You tend to not want to go splurge on these things, because you see the opportunity of if you just leave it there and if you just learn and let that grow of how far you can really get. So now, when we get into the stock market, so what we covered so far, the stock market is a place where publicly traded companies lets the community kind of see what they got going on, and then we can all buy shares or sell shares to make that price go higher, make that price go lower. The stock market is the same thing as like supply and demand. If there is a large supply of something and not a large demand, it tends to drive stock prices down. If there is a high demand for something and not a large supply, it tends to drive these stock prices up. Now, a share, all these companies, their total amount of what they're worth is their market capitalization. The total amount of a company, all the money in that company, all the assets is this market cap. A share is how they divide their company up almost into slices of pizza, little pieces. They'll take $20 billion and divide it up into millions and millions of shares to sell to people, to sell to retail traders out there. Now, when you trade, there's different styles that you can have. There's something called day trading. That would be where you buy a stock the same day and you sell a stock the same day. If you are young, I would not advise you. When I say young, under the age of 20, I wouldn't advise you day trading to start. Learn the market first. Learn it. Don't be in any rush to just jump on in there, because the same way that we can make a lot of money in the market, it's just as simple to lose a lot of money if we do not approach it the right way. So paper trade, paper trade, paper trade, and do not day trade, which would be buying and selling in the same day. If there's anybody out here watching this that wants to get into day trading, please reach out to me. Let's set up a one-on-one meeting. Have your parent reach out to me and let me talk to you to see if I think you're fully ready for it. I mean, I'm not saying that you're not, but in most cases, people in that under that 20 range, day trading is a very difficult thing. Now, a swing trade, I think, is perfect if you are the student. And when we join this stock market game, I hope a lot of you guys are swing trading. That's where you buy a stock and you hold it for anywhere for a day to a couple months. I think that is a fantastic lane for our young students to kind of learn. So when we get into our stock market game, I want to see some of you guys swing trading, and it would be nice. Or I want to see you investing, going long, which would be similar to what we talked about Zoom, putting some money in something for a longer period of time to let it grow for you. Now, really, if anything today, make sure that list I told y'all, write down what you're into, write down the stuff you use, write down the products you use and see if they're traded. Start to learn a little bit about the stock market. Now, remember, anybody that is signed up with us, I signed us up for the stock market game in Connecticut. The competition starts April 5th. Now, the way that competition goes is I sign up a certain amount, and then they send me the registration, the username, and the email, and then I distribute it out to the families. I have yet to get the email with the usernames and the passwords. So that's why today, if you got an email from me, it's just kind of like a lot of information, a lot of terms, a lot of things out there. We're going to go over some terms shortly, but just know that with the email, I'm going to send it to you when I get your username, and I will do a video on using their website, the stock market game, just to make sure everybody kind of understands it. Also, too, with this, we have a business program coming up, similar to Shark Tank, the program where we're going to have students come in. There's going to be criteria for the business they design. They're going to have to come up with a proposal, a business plan. They're going to come into our center. They're going to present it in front of our founders and some other people in our community. We are going to rate their program. We will have a financial prize for one of the winners. We're going to do this consistently because I want to see more young business women. I want to see more young business men, especially in these urban communities. If one thing that you guys get with the stock market, what we're talking about today, I know a lot of you out there everybody say side hustle right now. Everybody got a side hustle, side job. Make the stock market one of your side hustles. But when you first make it one of your hustles, don't make it like something that you have to make money off of. Make it education. Learn about it. Learn about the stock market. Learn, and then get yourself on into it. Now, I appreciate you guys today. It was a very basic intro to the stock market. If you want to get deeper into it, what I ask you to do is, on our YouTube page, look at some of the videos that I have. Start at the beginning if you really want to get a breakdown. I got a 7-part journey video breaking people down to learn in the stock market. If you really want to learn it right now, go watch some of those things. I am going to slowly feed you along. I'm not going to give you everything at once because you got to be hungry if you want to be successful in this. If you want to be a successful businesswoman, businessman, you want to be a successful investor, trader, I can't just give you everything and make you successful. I can kind of show you the light. I can lead you there, but you got to be hungry. Once it's there, you got to take it. You got to get that knowledge for yourself. You got to learn it. So keep that in mind. I'm always here for you guys. So today, I'm going to end within about 2 minutes. Use the rest of this time. Like I said, we were planning to be here 30 minutes. So if you're watching it, you were planning to be here 30. Use this time to do some research. You don't got to do much, but just look at some different publicly traded companies. You want to see something crazy? Look at GameStop for any of you guys that play like video games. If you want to see something crazy, look at a year chart of GameStop. GameStop is a stock that earlier in the year, it was under $5. Right now, it's around $200, and it got as high as over $450. That is crazy right there, crazy amount. So the market has much potential for us to be successful, but we have to get the education. Now, we're on part 5. Next week, we're going to get a little deeper into the trading, the stock market game. I should hopefully have the registrations for that. We're going to get a little deeper. We're going to talk about buying a share, what it kind of means, selling a share. We're going to talk about volume. We're going to talk about the hours. We're going to get deeper into nuts and bolts and kind of everything with the stock market. If there's anybody out there that can't wait up until that time to learn it, do some research on your own and check out some of my other videos. They're there to help you out. Also, it's looking like we're going to open our doors in May. So when I do open up the doors to people, I can probably fit as many as 12. One thing I will say is we're going to have a business academy where weekly we meet with students and help them get their business out there. We're going to have a stock market group where weekly we meet with students and help them in the stock market and help them learn. We're going to have some arts programs based around music, and we have some mentoring things. We have much more going on. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, like our page if you're interested in any of this stuff. Also, we have our financial literacy program in the schools. Right now, we're currently in Norwich Tech and Wyndham Tech doing some things there. We look to expand. I appreciate everybody checking us out tonight. Now, our episode tonight on stocks was sponsored by No Excuses Training. There's a man by the name of Mike Morgan. He's one of our founders. He has a training group. They train out of G's Fitness in Waterford. He got 6-week training sessions from kids in elementary school all the way up to kids in high school if you're in Southeastern Connecticut. Make sure you check him out. If you reach out to G's Fitness, just Google it. You can find him, or you can look him up. No Excuses Training. But he has some fantastic programs coming up. He sponsored this stocks portion for us tonight, so I had to make sure I give him a shout out. All right, I appreciate all y'all. If you're interested in more with us, look into the comments. I got our podcast. I do a podcast, Motivation Behind the Mind. Anybody who enters our stock market competition and our business competitions and shows exemplary effort, I will be asking you to come on so I can interview you on our podcast. So check it out. All right, I appreciate it. All y'all have a fantastic night. I will be back next Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. with the stock market part 2. If you can't wait till then, check out the videos. All right, have a great day.